Okay, good evening. We are live. I'm live here with Lizzie Arkell. She is a singer from West Sussex. Say hey, Lizzie.
Hi.
So tonight we are going to be talking all about imposter syndrome and using your voice to find your voice, which is Lizzie's speciality. And we're going to talk a bit about our journey and how you guys can maybe link this into your life as well, and the impact that it has, because imposter syndrome is so big, especially in the industry where you're coaching and you're in front of people. It seems to be something that causes quite a lot of paralysis. So I would love to introduce you to Lizzie, and she can tell you a little bit about herself and her journey so far. So I'm going to hand things over to Lizzie.
Hi everyone, I'm Lizzie, and as Emma said, I'm a singer. So my journey with imposter syndrome has been quite substantial. It's definitely something that has always been present in my life, and I think that's true for a lot of people. So I guess ever since I was quite young, I've been a high achiever. I've always put my own self-worth on everything I could do and achieve and have. And it's only through over the past few months I've realised how much I've been flawed by imposter syndrome, and particularly the more I was achieving throughout my singing career and even in things like school, when I was getting higher grades and going to college and that kind of thing, the more I was doing, the worse it was getting. And over the past few months I've been working with Emma, and it's just really surfaced that imposter syndrome is just all around me all the time, and I've been working really hard on getting through it and just moving on to the next thing, and really focusing on feeling good, and learning to process it rather than succumb to it.
Amazing. It has been such an incredible journey so far. I mean, we've only been working together for a couple of months, but the transformation so far has just been so beautiful. Like, you are such a powerful being, and I can just see so much come radiating from you. And when you do spark, when you do come alive with you know, your dreams and your goals, and we've sort of explored a lot of things recently, and then something just clicked, didn't it? And you were like, oh my goodness, this is exactly what I need to be doing. Oh my gosh. And you just light up, and it's just so nice. And it's in those moments when imposter syndrome does come in, and it really does be like, are you sure you want to do this? Because look at everybody else that's doing this. Are you sure you're good enough? And it's all those fears that come into place. You're like, am I good enough? Who the heck am I to think I can do this? And it's all those kind of things. So
Yeah,
what kind of things have you been putting into place?
So I guess the main thing for me, I'm so passionate about mental health, and I think the way I always try and deal with any kind of negative emotion is I try to take as much time as I need to sit with it and really feel it first. I think with imposter syndrome, it's really easy to not even know that it's a problem. It's not like if you're having a panic attack or you're really, really sad and you know you need to, you know, part of you knows that that's what you feel. Imposter syndrome doesn't even feel like it's kind of not real, and it's self-doubt and self-sabotage. It feels like just your own thoughts. So to sit there and deep dive into exactly what you're thinking and why you're thinking it, that's something I've been trying to do a lot, which has definitely helped. And I think also just getting out of my head and more into my body has really helped as well, because it's like such a strong shift. Sometimes you really need it, because I think when you're bogged down with thoughts of, why am I doing this? Do I even want to do this? And like you said, who am I to be doing this? It can feel very all-encompassing, and it can really be strong in your head. And sometimes you need to just put your energy somewhere else, put it into your body, where if you're doing exercise, or if you're moving around, or for me, if I'm singing, I don't have to think. I can just expel my energy somewhere else. And particularly with me, because a lot of my imposter syndrome has been about singing and whether I can actually doing the thing for the main reason, which is that I love it. Just then gets me away from, who am I to do it? Well, of course I can do it. I love it. Like, I'll just concentrate on that. And it's really been a good thing to take me out of my head.
Yeah, it's so powerful, isn't it? Because it's also noticing these things, and we've been putting things into place where you are actually noticing every time this comes up and really looking at, okay, is this mine? First of all, is this my sort of thoughts? And if it's not, where is it coming from? And like, how can I get myself out of this? And you putting those tools into place is such an amazing thing to do, because you're already challenging that thought pattern, which will then recreate new thoughts, new habits. So every time it does come up and you feel that sort of like, oh shit, we're live, I don't care, I swear. It's fine. You're basically like, oh god. You should know me by now. But you know, you do then step into your power and be like, I do know how to do this, I can do this. And you know, it's so powerful, it's so empowering when you do that as well, isn't it? And you're like, yes, this is what's doing this.
Definitely. And I think that first part you said about just asking yourself, is this mine? So much of the time when I have these thoughts of, oh, can I, should I, who am I to, asking myself if it's mine and delving deeper into it, a lot of the time I'm like, no, it's not. Like it's happening in my head, but it's not what I truly feel and know. So it's a really important question to ask, and I think being in the habit of questioning your negative thoughts rather than just accepting them it's a hard habit to tame, but it can change everything.
Yeah, definitely can. And I think with social media being the way it is, and everything is like, we need all the answers right now, and we want quick fixes, and we want to, you know, we want to be better than everybody else. But then actually when you do go into the path of what your purpose is, your sole purpose is, what makes you feel amazing, unfortunately social media will then show us everything like competitors, or like everything, people doing the same thing, or people like that should be influencing you or something else, and then that makes you question everything, like, am I good enough? There's all these other people doing it, why should I bother? And actually it's us finding the strength within and our authenticity to be able to go, that's great for them, it obviously means it works, because they are successful, therefore that drives me to do this from my perspective, and be able to inspire other people, empower other people to do the same.
Yeah, that's a big one. I think going from feeling like you watch other people doing something that you want to be doing and feeling that horrible gut-wrenching jealous, oh, why is that me, oh screw her, like that feeling, and turning that into like an abundance mindset and going, well, that means it's possible for me too, like good for her, that's amazing. That does a lot for you, but again, it's so hard to master. So I think some of the things that like I've been doing and just noticing when it pops up, and having my almost rituals now in place of like, right, okay, what, particularly for me, where I know if I'm feeling really negative and I need to do something that makes me feel really good and lit up, for me that's always been singing. So I'll just wander around the house just belting out anything, and it tends to bring me back home a bit. So I think finding the way to do that for you is really important.
Definitely. And I think that really fuels your next passion that we're working on, doesn't it? Which is so exciting. And it makes me tingly with goosebumps, because I'm so excited for you. And this is where I love it. This is my zone of genius, is the whole designing thing. When people start saying, well, I have this idea, and I'm like, yes.
Yes. You knew it better than me, because in our first session you were like, what about this? And I was like, no. And then a month later I was like, oh.
Yeah, no, it was so brilliant. So can you tell everybody what your idea and your goals and your visions are moving forward?
Yeah, so my goals, when I first started working with Emma, I was like, right, I am bored working in a corporate job, and I want to work in the music industry. I want to be a singer, like that's what I want to do, committing to it. And now I've realised that I want to do that, and I also want to help coach other women to feel like they have a place in the music industry as well. So whether that's as a singer or as a bassist or a drummer, I've gone through a long time of walking into gigs and open mic nights and networking events and feeling like I wasn't welcome because I was a girl, because it's a very male dominated industry, and I feel like there needs to be this safe female feminine space in the music industry where women feel like they can get on, literally and figuratively, get on stage and shine and do what they want to do. And I know more than anyone how easy it is to feel like you can't do that and to give into like that imposter syndrome basically. And I'm starting to get my head around it, and I really feel like there needs to be more of a community. So that's what I want to build.
It's so powerful as well, isn't it? It is stepping into that empowering feeling of being front center stage, or like being in front of people and being confident and feeling confident and empowered to be able to do that as well, isn't it? And it is so beautiful. And you know, when you said about being a singer, you already are a singer. You've been to Abbey Road, and tell us about your Cadbury's experience.
So long story short, I won a trip with off the back of a chocolate bar, where Cadbury had like a £10,000 budget, and then they would meet with whoever won the competition and design it around them. But I had no idea what it was. So I met someone, had a bit of an interview with them after I'd won, and then they came to my house with a big purple suitcase that looked like a dairy milk and a big film crew, and played me this video. And basically they flew me to New York, and then they flew me to LA, and I went to a gig, and I had a vocal session with the woman that teaches Gwen Stefani, Rihanna, Katy Perry, and Britney, like so many people. And then we've stayed in a hotel on the Sunset Strip that has it's a quite famous recording studio called Nightbird Studios underneath. It's in the basement, and the Smiths stayed there, Aretha Franklin, like all my favourite big stars. Like I was singing a CeeLo Green track in this recording studio because they paid for me to record music in there, and they were like, oh yeah, he was here last week, and I was like,
and who was in the room next door?
When I went to Abbey Road, Sam Smith was in the room next door, and they were like, oh sorry, you can't go in there because Sam Smith's in there recording the new James Bond theme tune. And I was like, oh yeah, no biggie. Like I've been really lucky to be, or perhaps I've been quite aligned to be around some really big stuff, and it's just always just electric. It's just lit me up. And I've been I even though I've had a more local music career, I've recorded with Grammy winning and BAFTA winning producers and stuff like that, and I've recorded in the same booth that Aretha Franklin recorded in, like, who is my absolute heroine. So it's like,
it's amazing, isn't it? And you are actually a master manifester. Like, you've been suppressing it for so long, and you when you realised, you were like, oh yeah, like you were like, I might just book a photo shoot. And what do you get for Christmas? A photo shoot. Like everything you asked for is like, okay, it's happened. It's so funny how once you do align and open yourself back up again, things just come to you, and it's so amazing.
It's really weird. I went through a bit of a dodgy patch where I was like, oh, I know I could get the things I want if I just tune in and manifest it. Oh yeah, must do that.
Must do that one day.
Must meditate and it'll be fine. But and then kind of, I think since I started making those power moves back around when we started talking, I did a couple of things. Like I've started prioritizing my health a lot more as well, and started working with you. It's kind of big moves, and I'm sort of showing up for myself, and a lot more is coming towards me now. So it's great.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, and I love it because it is so possible. And I think the powerful thing is that you have actually seen and experienced these things that you want to achieve for people as well. So you know what that feels like to be in those studios. You know the feeling of being in these places, in Abbey Road, in LA and stuff. So you know that sensation. So you can picture it, you can visualize it, so you can step into that and know that. So that's a really powerful thing too. We were going to talk a little bit about maybe body and our body image and how that affects some of our decision making, because we do as women, and men as well, but because this group is predominantly women, apart from Lizzie's boyfriend who is watching, who will be kicked out at the end of this, by the way. we do really suffer from giving ourselves shit when it comes to, my son is in bed, sorry Ty. We really do give ourselves a hard time when it comes to our body image and how we think we need to look, and how we think we need to look to be able to perform as a certain person, or, you know, getting to our ideal self. And it's all well and good if you want to take care of yourself from a soul perspective, but you don't have to look like that person on the screen to achieve that. Like,
so yeah, I felt that a lot. Like I think I've said to you a few times, like, because I wanted to work, well, I guess I say it as because I wanted to work in such an industry that is so scrutinised, particularly women, on how we look. I always felt like I needed to look perfect, and I can't go, and I've been asked to do this massive gig, but I can't go because I'm carrying a few extra pounds at the moment, which has always been I've always been insecure about my weight, and it's just, it's horrible. And I say it's because it's that industry, but it's not really, because it's every single woman. And it's, I think when you ask yourself how many opportunities you've lost because you didn't feel good about how you looked, and actually think about it, it's really sad. So I'm trying to kick that to the curb.
It's bit by bit though, isn't it? I mean, you are taking on so much, and it is a case of like, do a bit by bit, but it does tend to slot into place once you are more mindful about your things. You're like, actually, I really fancy going for a walk. I really fancy nourishing my body, because I might actually love myself. What is this? I can't tell anyone. Oh my god, big-headed. But it's not.
You're not allowed to say that either. But
but you can, and this is what I like to preach. It is about really loving yourself, getting to know yourself, and that's totally amazing. And it's so good being able to step into your power. And I think I wanted to talk to me about using your voice to find your voice, because I love this concept completely. So come at me.
Okay, so using your voice to find your voice. So basically, where I've been feeling the imposter syndrome and going, right, screw that, I'm gonna do something I love to do. So I'll sing whatever pops into my head. And I actually came to a point where I realised I've always done that, but I've also used my voice in so many ways to try and bring myself back home and feel a lot more grounded and get my emotions out, because I've never been consistent with like writing in a journal. I haven't always had a friend who I would tell absolutely everything to. When I needed to get my emotions out, I would write songs. And from when I was really, really young, I even to the point where I was writing songs that didn't make any sense, but it didn't, or they weren't commercial or anything, but I was getting my emotions out, and I was singing about how I felt. And that sounds really, really strange, but it really, really works. So if I'm not feeling great, I will literally try and sing out what I'm feeling. Maybe try and make a rhyme out of it. Just to kind of connect what I'm thinking in my head and the physical feeling in my body, as well as it being something that I really love doing. And I think that applies to everybody. Singing is it's like almost like an animalistic type thing that everybody loves to sing a song, even if you can't sing a note. Connecting back to who you are, and to that middle part of you, that strong voice, is so good, and it's so therapeutic and cleansing. And I also have found lately that where I've been trying out affirmations and they've always sat a little bit funny with me, I really struggle with aligning myself with some affirmations if they feel a little bit high in the sky sort of thing. So I sing them because it's a comfortable thing for me, and it connects with my soul and my body, and it feels good. So it's a way for me to feel good whilst processing my emotions. And it sounds really crazy when you think about me like walking around my house singing about random, but it's actually really, really helped. And it's
so
something
powerful.
And I think it's something that anybody can try. Like, at the risk of feeling a bit silly, when you're on your own and you're feeling really rubbish and maybe you've had a stressful day, just taking a moment to center yourself within your body and just singing and just grounding yourself, it can do so much. It can be so helpful.
It is, and we do tend to suppress our voice as well, because I mean, through the ages we're supposed to be seen as small and, you know, quiet voices, and as kids we tend to be seen and not heard, and all of those things that we bring with us. Actually, you know, we can't speak up and ask for things like that we actually want. We're like, yeah, we just agree with stuff because we don't feel strong enough to use our voice to be able to portray what we want to say. And I notice with a lot of my clients, they say they can't find the words or they forget things, because it's a case of you can't connect yourself back together to find the words to say. Or a lot of people say that they feel that blockage in their throat when they do meditation, in like their throat chakra. I don't know if you're into chakras, but a lot of people find that they have that blockage there, like, and it's almost like you feel like you need to cough or something, because you've suppressed what you want, your voice, your authentic power, just all of that. We suppress so much that actually we need to go to scream and shout it from the rooftops and use our
Why do they tell you to scream into a pillow, like?
Yeah, exactly. And it's so nice to have somebody to be able to turn to like you, who uses your voice, and you know, can teach other people how to use their voice as well, which is so needed. Definitely needed.
It's definitely something where if I'm feeling all over the place and though I'm in one of those spaces where everything is going wrong and I'm irritable and I'm annoying people, like if I just take a second and sing it out and get back to that childlike happy place, I'm so much more grounded. And sometimes, for me at least, it works better than a meditation when I'm in that space, because I'm not trying to, you know, quieten down, I'm letting it out. So it's definitely, it's not something I've heard of people talking about before, but it's definitely something that I think is worth sharing, because doing anything with your body and your voice to open back up your voice is so powerful.
That is so powerful. Definitely. That is amazing. Thank you. So good. And okay, so in the next couple of months we are working on the your coaching side of things, and you're empowering women. Where can everyone find you?
So I am at Lizzie Arkell on Instagram, where I've been a lot more active lately and connecting with a lot more people, which is great. So you can follow me over there. I'm at Lizzie Arkell on Twitter, and I'm Lizzie Arkell Music on Facebook.
Amazing. And this is going to grow. Like, you're building a website at the moment, and you've got some incredible blogs. Actually, you guys are going to have to read Lizzie's amazing story. Her blogs, not that I kicked her up the arse or anything, you know, they're incredible. So I cannot wait to see all of those on your website when that comes around, and we will share that in this group as well. So if anyone feels drawn to maybe, you know, working with you or needing to find their voice, then they can come and reach out to you as well.
Yeah, definitely. Would be amazing. Definitely.
Is anybody watching out there? I haven't checked, because on Zoom we can't see on Facebook. So if you have any questions, I'm going to go onto the Facebook thing now and see if I can see any.
Definitely. That's amazing. Thank
massive you. Delay. So if you have any questions, pop them in the comments box.
Couple of months.
Oh my gosh, see.
To you as well.
Okay.
Anybody watching out
there? Such a delay, isn't there? Okay. So, if there's any questions at all, write them in the comments box. But if we don't get to them now, we can answer them anyway through the group, and Lizzie can answer them too, because she'll probably get notifications on there. And you can message Lizzie, or you can message me privately as well. So feel free to reach out to either of us. Lizzie, is there anything else you want to share this evening?
Just for anybody watching, to just make sure that you are listening to yourself. If imposter syndrome sort of appears in your mind, question it, because most of the time it's not you, and try working with your body and your voice to get past it, because it sounds silly but it's really fun and it really, really works.
Amazing. That's so good. So guys, try it and let us know if you do try it as well, because we would love to hear about it. Write it in the comments below and say, like, I screamed from the rooftops today, or I sang my affirmations. Give it a go tomorrow. Sing your affirmations, or sing something that doesn't feel right in your body, and let it out, and start to notice if the imposter syndrome is yours, or if it belongs to somebody else, or if it's a peer pressure or something else, and let us know. But for now, I will let you guys enjoy your evening, and catch you all very, very soon. Good night, Lizzie, and thank you so much for coming on live tonight.
Thank you for having me. It's been really fun.
It's been amazing. Thank you so much. We're going to go off of live now, so take care, guys.
Bye.